The NFL playoffs are finally here. It was a great season. Lots of surprises, a number of teams who were favorite to win, including the Ravens. They could win it all. The odds on favorite at the start of the year end up missing the playoffs. There were surprises left and right. And it was just a very different type of season all year long. Every week, it was a week to week league. It showed you that week after week. And just a few weeks ago, we did have this matchup here to start that we're starting the playoffs with the Rams Panthers, which everybody was taking the Rams. How do the Rams lose this game to Carolina? The rain played a factor. It was an ugly, weird game. Carolina ends up beating the Rams in, which was, like I said, a shocker. So we will start with that game for our picks here. Of course, I will be taking the Rams. I would take their money line, the spread. I lean Carolina because plus 10 in the playoffs is a really, really big number. But I do think the Rams win this game. McVay isn't going to get this wrong twice. And I don't know that they'll be playing with as bad of weather as they dealt with down the stretch last game. The total, though, 46 and a half, I would play the over. I don't care if it's raining. I don't care how it is. I think the Rams offense is going to dictate the way this game is played. Carolina's defense, they struggle against the run. They're fine against the pass, but they do have some holes there. We've seen teams show that they can score against them. And the most important game of the year for them, they could have gotten into the playoffs without having to worrying about what they watched Sunday. Tampa Bay was able to do what they wanted running the football. Bucky Irving was able to get going. I think that two-headed rushing attack of Blake Corum and Kyron Williams is going to be able to really control this game. McVay's not losing to them twice. I don't see it happening on the road. I think he'll be prepared. I think that offense will be ready to go. And that defense can force some turnovers. I know they fell off a little bit down the stretch, but I trust the edge rushers. I trust their secondary to maybe come away with an interception or two from Bryce Young like the Bucs did. So I'm going to take the Rams to win outright. I'll lean Carolina, and I like the over here.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Rams to win this game. I think they make quick work of it. My favorite bet, if you're dying to play a side because the spread is so big, we talked about this on One a Bet earlier in the week. I like the Rams to win both halves. Um, they're going to be ready to play from the onset of this. They've been staccato lately. They did it again against Arizona last week. They did it against Atlanta. Their offense is their superpower. McVay knows it. Stafford knows it. And this is a team that he should have thrown 4 or 5 touchdowns on last time. Remember, when they met last time, the Rams were in that magic carpet ride portion of their season, which you probably want some adversity. You probably want to hit some bumps in the road if you're going to get to a Super Bowl. And they've hit plenty of adversity and bad calls and, special teams gaffes and fired a special teams coach since then. So I think they're in a different place now. And I think they'll be looking to make quick work of them. I think Carolina can hang around long enough that the Rams are still going to want to and need to score in the second half. I'll just say this about laying the points. Sean McVay's 8-5 against the spread in the playoffs. Sean McVay's 5-2 against the spread on the playoffs on the road. And Matt Stafford's covered 4 of his last 6 instances as a double-digit favorite. So, again, I'm not going to go there. I'm all over Matt Stafford in a bunch of different ways. I think he could beat them throwing to the tight ends. I think he could beat them throwing to the wide receivers. I think he could beat them throwing to the running backs. It's been a fun season for Carolina. They've got a negative scoring differential for a reason. And then I lean over. I'm with you there. I lean over, but I don't. I'm not dying to bet it.
Next game, another exciting one. This one we've seen twice this year, of course, with it being a divisional matchup. And the last time these two faced off, it was weird given the circumstances, right? Malik Willis takes over for Jordan Love after he goes down with the concussion. The Bears recover an onside kick. The Bears score a touchdown with about 20 seconds left and ultimately win the game in overtime. DJ Moore, deep shot to the end zone, wins it. This is a pick 'em here, basically minus 110
Yep.
each. The total is 46 points. We came into the season, both of us, high on the Packers and more importantly on Jordan Love. I've liked Jordan Love a lot since college. I think a lot of people talked about off the field stuff that a lot of people deal with coming in. And I think Jordan Love is a legitimate quarterback. That being said, things have been up and down for this offense when he's been playing quarterback. And some weeks it looks like he's a top 5 passing quarterback in the NFL. Some weeks it looks like he's bottom, he's 20 to 25 and he's a game manager and needs to just hand the football off. Adding Josh Jacobs has absolutely helped everything there, but sometimes it feels like they get too stagnant. They run the same things. They become a little
Yeah.
predictable, and we've seen it with them time and time again. Now the Bears, Ben Johnson takes over. It's exciting. They have everything going well for them. They've won a lot of tight games. They force a lot of turnovers. They're fun, but I just don't know that they are legitimate. I've said it for a while, and they've proven me wrong time and time again. I'll give them credit. Caleb Williams has done a damn good job when he's needed to throw the
Yep.
football. He hands it off, hands it off, hands it off. And in the most important times of the game, when he needs to hit the throws, he does. That being said, on the road, I don't care. I am taking the Green Bay Packers on the money line here. I think all year long, I felt pretty good about them. Losing Micah Parsons is massive. That changed my outlook for them to win a Super Bowl, but I still think Halfley is going to do good enough to limit the Bears, try to make them one dimensional as much as he can. I think the Packers offense is going to have some success against the Bears defense that has really struggled down the stretch. They're forcing a lot of turnovers. It's exciting, but I cannot trust them to get enough stops. We saw it against San Francisco. We saw it against Detroit in an important game. Now, there weren't enough points allowed in that game, but the yardage was there if Detroit could have taken advantage. And I think Green Bay's offense right now in this spot should be able to take advantage. So I like Green Bay on the money line. I also like the over of 46 here in this matchup.
Yeah, I think whoever wins this game will be their last victory of the season. I just don't think these teams are built for the long haul of the playoff slog. Questions about their defense, questions about their pass rush. It's new terrain for Chicago. Rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs, it tends to be humbling. And I like Jordan Love a lot, but Jordan Love hasn't played a lot of football lately. Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur have not seemed to be on the same page at times this year. It's just been a very staccato offensive season for them. No craft in the postseason. Jacobs as beat up as he was down the stretch. I just can't back him. And I've been wrong on Chicago all year. I'm not going to bet a side in this game, Ben. I lead to the Bears and I lean to the under. I just wonder, like, if they're both relatively content to run the ball, keep it close, and see what happens late. I mean, that's Chicago. Chicago's like they've been a fourth quarter darling, and I think Green Bay LaFleur is pretty conservative by nature. Um, and look, there's a lot of numbers that would tell you. Look at Green Bay on the road this season; they're a dead over team. Look at Green Bay on the road, especially since Parsons has got hurt. Defense isn't as good; those games are going over. But playoffs are a different beast. So um, I wonder if this becomes a 20-17 type slog. Um, I'm going to have less cash on this game than any other game this weekend. I can already tell. And again, I don't fancy either of these teams to do a whole lot of damage beyond this point.
Yep, I'm right there with you in terms of after that one. But here, an interesting game, one of the more interesting games of the weekend. A team in the Bills who, with the Chiefs out, with the Ravens out, a lot of people point to Josh Allen and say they're the pick. This is finally going to be their year. But their defense and even some of Josh Allen's struggles down the stretch probably say otherwise. They get a matchup here with the Jags. And I will be completely honest. I truly think this is a coin flip. I don't feel great about either side. Jason, I know you were on the Jags, so I'll let you get a little bit more into that when we get there. I would say I lean the Bills on the money line, but what the Jags have done is special. Nobody expected it. Their defense has fixed itself. Liam Cohn, we have all of the corny stuff in the offseason of him saying Duval and people questioning, his communication when he was leaving Tampa Bay, and it was very ugly. All he does after that is lead this Jags team to a division win. They're hosting a playoff game. They played really, really good football at the right time, won 7 or 8 in a row, and really quieted a lot of that stuff. People are talking very highly of him, as they should be. But in this one, I do lean the Bills. Their defense still scares me. They can't really stop the run. I don't know how good they are against the pass when they deal with their injuries. I know this is the third time I'm saying it, but this is an over game for me. 51.5. I don't think it's high enough. I don't know that the Bills will be able to get enough stops. I think Josh Allen can play some hero ball late. And even sometimes when he starts playing hero ball, it turns into turnovers, shorter field for the opposing offenses. So give me the over, but I don't really love anything in this game except for props.
I like the Jags here a lot. I'm buying what's going on with them, and you could say, well, they're on a bit of a magic carpet ride, but they had adversity in the middle of the year. They had that Chiefs win, looked like they were going to run away with the division. They had weird games with the Texans. A lot of questions being asked in the middle of the season. They had some injuries to the linebacking core. Looked like the Colts might run away with the division. I got a lot of respect for the way they've rebounded to some weird ish that happened in the middle of the season. I don't buy the Bills on the road. I've been fading the Bills on the road most of the season. Their defense doesn't travel. The offense doesn't travel. 30.4 points per game at home, 23.3 on the road. Allen gets sacked 6.5% of the time at home. 10% of his dropbacks on the road result in a sack. No bueno. There's people out there telling me that don't buy Jacksonville's run defense, and this is a good schematic runs advantage for the Bills. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think they will be able to take away Cook, and Josh Allen will default to hero ball too soon. I know he hasn't thrown a pick in forever. This season, I know he hasn't thrown a pick in 5 straight playoff games. I also know he threw 2 at Houston and looked all kinds of flummoxed. And Atlanta, when their pass rush was going, in Atlanta, he threw 2, should have thrown 3. I think he's throwing a pick in this game. I think he's throwing a pivotal pick in this game. All the pressure's on him. Jacksonville's playing with house money. Jacksonville's 12-5 against the spread. Jacksonville's covered 8 straight. Jacksonville's 7-2 against the spread at home. Jacksonville's covered 4 straight at home. Jacksonville's pass defense doesn't get enough credit. That's a legit unit. You look at their breakdown, they treat opposing quarterbacks the same way the Bills' vaunted secondary treats opposing quarterbacks. And I'm buying what Trevor Lawrence is able to do with his legs and his arms and RPOs. So I think the Bills come up small again in the playoffs. Josh Allen, 5-8 against the spread in the playoffs, 0-4 against the spread on the road in the playoffs. I think McDermott will get tight quickly here because he's not going to be able to run away and hide. And I think Jacksonville wins the game. I'm with you. I think it's probably an over game as well. And I think home field will be a big deal.
Next, we will go to another Sunday matchup. The Eagles versus the 49ers. We have a 4.5-point spread, a total of 45, one of the lower scoring expected matchups, and that's where I'm going. I do like the under here. I think it'll be a low scoring matchup. I also like the Eagles minus 4.5. San Francisco was awesome offensively down the stretch until that final week in week 18 where Mike McDonald did what he's done in a few matchups with Kyle Shanahan and was able to just stun him and storm him and had that offense that, again, was scoring close to 30 points per game over their last 5 or 6 games before that. They got right after him. And I think that's something that Fangio and this Eagles defense could be able to do here. I don't know that San Francisco's defense is going to be able to keep up. Jason brought it up on the show time and time again down the stretch, what they do against running backs and their big struggles. So now you're going to tell me we're going to have a run-heavy Eagles offense, especially when it's colder out in the playoffs. They're going to get in their own way of that. Sirianni has a lot of faults, and he's a weird guy, and he's different. He will not get out of his own way. They are going to hand the football off. They're going to play that game, and you have to expect Saquon to have a few game-changing runs against a defense that hasn't been able to stop the run. They've also struggled against running backs in the passing game. So if there's a screen or two to Saquon, to Tank Bigsby, to Will Shipley, and they get off a little bit, that wouldn't surprise me at all either. I do expect Philadelphia to try to control the clock as they always do and have success doing it. This game is also on the road in the cold, something that San Francisco really doesn't want to be playing in a situation like that in Philly. So I think Philly covers the spread, but I like the under, and I also like Saquon Barkley props a ton in this game. You have a 49ers defense who has been dead last in defensive rush success since week 11. It's been a long sample size. You could tell me they're dealing with all these injuries. Not enough guys are getting healthy for me to change my mind here. So again, give me Saquon Barkley props over on everything. He'll score a touchdown, and I think the Eagles win this game.
We're probably more aligned on this game than any of them. We told you guys on Monday morning, if you watched Wannabet, jump that under 46.5 because it's it's a flawed number. And by the time we get to kickoff, I bet it's 42.5. The Eagles are a dead under team. The Eagles are under in 7 of their last 8. Those games, 25 points, 47, 31, 41, 39, 45, 25, 17. That's Eagles game total since their bye. San Francisco will allow you to run all day, and Sirianni will be perfectly happy to run all day. And everybody knows they can't stop the run. But what I don't think is talked about enough, and especially it applies here, because I think Sirianni will be conservative, San Francisco allowed 94 completions to running backs this year. That's 30th in the NFL. 83.2% completion percentage for the season throwing to running backs. That's 29th in the NFL. Barkley didn't show up a lot in the passing game down the stretch, but you like to change tendencies and change trends for these one-off winner-take-all, and it fits exact. And you could tell me, they're going to get healthier at linebacker. I'm not buying that. A cat broke his leg. He's been out forever. Like they will attack him in coverage. They will find out real soon. If they want to try to act like this is Superman and the Bionic Man, we're gonna know in the 15 game script. Um, I think the Eagles can play bully ball here. I don't like Purdy in this spot. Um, and look, Vic Fangio was in the head of the Shanahan family tree. There's a reason that like McVay was trying to find Staley, a Fangio disciple, and they're trying to pick guys off that tree because they know that Fangio has a special sauce. And Fangio's back to having a fully healthy defense. The one game that went over in the last 8 was the one that Carter didn't play. They had a bunch of injuries. Shanahan, believe it or not, Beltway Ben, has only faced Fangio twice in his career as a coordinator or a head coach. And it was both early in Shanahan's career, but he completely shut him down in both games. Neither one of those games got to 30 points as a total. I don't think when you can't rush the passer, you can't run the ball, and you can't stop the run, and you're going on the road with a coach who has been a playoff choker, I'm on the others. And the guy on the other sideline just won a Super Bowl. I mean, you want to go under an Eagles money line? That'd probably be my favorite parlay in this game. Yeah, I think this is the end of the 49ers season. 0 pass rush. 0. Worse pass rush than the Ravens. Nah, Hurts will be able to do enough to win this game.
Now we head to the final game of Sunday before the Monday night matchup. We are going with the Chargers Patriots. 3.5 point spread, 46-point total. I lean the Chargers here. I lean the Chargers on the money line. I would take them plus 3.5. What New England's done is awesome. They've been able to beat up on a lot of bad teams, though, and that sticks out to me. People talked about their strength of schedule all year. And while I agree, you got to play who's in front of you. It's just what it is. You got to beat the teams in front of you. It does mean something when you see them go against some of the better opponents and have some struggles. And I just don't know. Like the Ravens game, they were dead in the water, and all of a sudden Drake May is able to throw against a horrendous pass defense and take advantage of that. If the Ravens' passing defense was even subpar, just a little bit, they would have been fine. I know this game's in New England. That's tough, the Chargers, but the Chargers defense can get after it. Jesse Minter is a legit defensive coordinator. I do think he'll be able to get in that New England passing game head a little bit. And I think the Chargers are going to be able to do enough offensively to win this game. New England's defense wasn't as good down the stretch as it once was. We saw the Bills put 35 up on them, and that was when they were up 17 at one point. That was a complete blown game. The game after that, they allowed 24 to the Ravens with Snoop Huntley playing 2.5 quarters. I like the Chargers in this spot. I think their defense will be able to get enough stops. I think they'll get off the field. I lean them on the money line. I like them plus 3.5, and I also like the total to go under 46. Greg Roman, I know that things have changed a little bit since he's gotten LA in terms of running and passing distribution, but I think he'll run the football a lot, and I think he'll have some success doing it. New England has not been good against the run over the last few weeks of the season. I know Milton Williams comes back, but it still is going to take some time to get him right. I would expect the Chargers to win this game and the under to cash.
I'm with you across the board. I love the Chargers on the money line. The whole Harbaugh family tree, both Harbaughs. And I think this is going to prove true of McDonald. As a road dog, that's when you absolutely love them. When the expectations are there, and like that might be a little bit of a different story. But this Harbaugh going on the road as an underdog against a quarterback who's never played in the playoffs before, who's everybody's darling, who they say is going to win the MVP, and he's got the better defense. He's got the better defensive coordinator. He's got the better kicker. Why do I bring that up? He loves winning rock fight, ugly games. And I think he's got the better court. Like what Drake May's done is great. Drake May hasn't played anybody all year. He hasn't faced a real defense all year. He's facing an elite defense. He's facing a top 5 defense here. And he hasn't really had to play from behind much. I think he's going to have to here. Herbert getting the bye week is huge. And the one way that the Chargers season is going to end is somebody just beats Herbert into oblivion. It ain't happening here with this New England defense. So I'm with you across the board.
Now let's finish here with the Houston Texans, Pittsburgh Steelers, Monday Night Football matchup. 8 p.m. kick. I just cannot see the Steelers keeping this one close. You gave out Houston -3 on the show at -120. The regular number is 3.5. I would play that as well. I would prefer to buy it down. And then the total is 39.5. Kind of insane. I would take the under here. It's crazy to sound like that, but
Yeah.
Look at what the Steelers have done offensively against elite defenses. They haven't played enough for me to really point at. Like against the Chargers, they scored 10 points. Houston is on par with that. Now, Houston has fallen off a little bit down the stretch, but some of that is who they're playing and guys who are really playing for nothing. Last week, Riley Leonard getting off throwing the football. The Raiders getting off throwing the football a little bit. That's fine, but those teams know I chuck the ball down the field. If they intercept it, who cares? It's nothing to lose. We already know where we're at in the season. Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to look bad in what could be his final game in NFL history. He hasn't had any success throwing the football down the field outside of 2 games this year, and they were both against the same team who every damn quarterback in the NFL had success against. We make fun of JJ McCarthy all the time. He had his best passing game of his
Yes.
career against the Ravens. The Steelers, the only time that we've really seen their passing offense get going enough was against the Ravens. And the Lions, it was fine, but a lot of that also was late. Jalen Warren taking off with his legs and making plays. Houston is going to suffocate them at the line of scrimmage. They're going to get after Rodgers, which we couldn't see the Ravens do last week, or they put that game away. The Steelers did not look good against the Ravens, but they were able to win more because the Ravens just are not a good football team. I would expect Houston to handle business. D'Amico Ryans is going to go for the kill shot. He's not going to hold back. He wants to win this game by 2 scores, and I would expect them to do that. And I would expect them to hold the Steelers probably under 14 points. So give me Houston on the money line, Houston minus 3.5, and the total to go under 39.5.
It's pretty simple for me, Beltway Ben. The Houston Texans would have won the AFC North by 3 games. And the Pittsburgh Steelers would have finished 5th for me in the AFC South. And you're going to tell me, oh, but they beat the Colts. Did you watch that game? Did you watch that game? I mean, muff punts. I mean, it was typical batshit bullshit, Heinz Field, people throwing the holy water in the. They wouldn't have beat the Colts 2 out of 3. And if they're in the same division, they'd have played them at least twice. I don't think they'd beat them more than once. I don't think they were beating the Jags. I don't think they were beating the Texans. Now, yeah, the Titans, okay, so they would have finished what? They'd have finished 4th. Yeah, 4th. Titans would have still been 5th. Look, the Steelers D-line might do enough to keep this game close. I don't think they'll do enough to win. Boswell's been shaky down the stretch. Now, this Fairbairn, I know he's a dome kicker, but he's in better mental form right now than Boswell. But I think Aaron Rodgers is going to get swallowed alive. He's going to get obliterated. And when he throws to the running backs against this defense, there ain't yak, there ain't broken tackles. There's probably some fumbles because this is an unbelievably predictable offense. Arthur Smith sucks, and D'Amico Ryans is a stud. The Texans win this game going away.
That is it for our wild card preview. We will be back for the divisional round. We also do have our Super Bowl picks up on our page if you find it there. Tune into us every single day, 7 days a week. We are giving out our best bets with this rundown there to my right. And I just think that in these spots, you got to find out. Tune in with us. We're not charging you. You don't have to pay anything. We are live every single day around 11 a.m. on YouTube at Wanna Bet With Us, on Jason's Twitter at Jason Lockenfora, my Twitter at BH Journalist, our Twitter on our own Twitter at Wanna Bet With Us. You can find us at wannabetwithus.com for anything you need to find with your sports betting needs, and it's all free. Tune in. Don't miss out every single day at 11 a.m.